going to be talking about all the books I want to read in February. As you can see, it's a big stack. The theme for this month is reading the books that I've been putting off for a while. So a bunch of these books were in my, I think, November TBR last year. Things got really heavy and I could not read them, so I want to read them this month. And yeah, I also want to prioritize some of my physical books because I really need to read them. So anyway, enough chit chat, and I'm going to talk to you about the books that I want to read. You know, I found that I actually really like making lists about the books I want to read. It makes me excited and, you know, makes me passionate and makes me want to read. If I don't have a TBR, I honestly can't, I won't read anything. So anyway, all this chat had to say, I'm excited. Okay, so I'll start with the ebooks. So the first one I was talking about is Jade Legacy. This is the final book in the Greenbone Saga trilogy. So in Jade City, we follow these two clans who control this resource called Jade. And so people who can wear Jade, not everybody can use Jade as well, but people who can, it kind of heightens their natural abilities. They can maybe perceive things better, maybe they can heal faster, stuff. I think they can heal actually. Anyway, point is, yes, and so what happens is that in the first book, the two clans basically come to a war breaks out. Is that the right word? I feel like there's a clash. The rivalry breaks out into like a full-on war. And yeah, so in the first book, I think it's a bit more action-packed. In the second book, the war is more political, which I don't know, I liked more. I liked the expansion of the world in book 2. Book 2 made it to one of my favorite books of the year, so if that tells you anything. And yeah, I'm going to read Jade Legacy. From all the reviews, I'm scared. I feel like my heart will be broken, I'll be shattered, and I guess I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time I'm not looking forward to it. So that's Jade Legacy. The next book I will be talking about is Fury Song. This is also the final book in the Fire or the Aurelian cycle. So the first book in this series is Fireborn, and so in Fireborn we're following Annie and Lee, these two children who so basically there was a revolution 10 years ago. So we follow Annie and Lee, who were children at the time of the revolution. Yes, Lee comes from the family that was overthrown, and Annie was basically one of the people that was mistreated under this oppressive regime, and now we're following them 10 years later, and they're both growing. So they grew up in the orphanage together, yes, and now they are in dragon riding school, and basically there's this competition for high positions, and we're following them. And then later the old regime, some survivors from the old regime come back and are like, we kind of want to come back, you know, and so they have to choose where their loyalties lie, and there's also this competition. I think the first book was great. The second book though, I don't know if it's me, I'm strange that I've always found that I seem to prefer the second book in series. I just realized I'm missing a book. Sorry, give me a second. Where's Dreams of Gods and Monsters? I swear I put it here. Oh, okay, I see. Sorry. This is just show you how chaotic I am. Anyway, because I'm going to show it. Anyway, yes, sorry. So we follow, yes, like I said, Annie and Lee, and then the old regime, and see where their loyalties lie. First book was good. Second book though, also made it to my favorite books of 2020. You know when you read a book, you're just like, yeah, this is such an easy 5 stars. You don't have to think about it. I mean, I'm also looking forward to the conclusion of this series. I really like the exploration of, you know, what's the word? Like, just we follow this revolution, you know, how things go astray, the importance of free speech, you know, how something can start good but then, you know, go astray, the politicking, propaganda. It's just such an interesting exploration, and yeah, and also the yearning and the pining and the way the relationships are written, everything is so good. Honestly, you should read it. Then yes, so then the next book I want to read is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Lily Taylor. Another thing for this month is either finishing or continuing series. I think I'm only starting 2 new series. Oh no, 3 actually. Anyway, so this is the 3rd book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. So in the first book we follow Karu, who is this art student in Prague, but she also runs errands for these other monsters, so she has a second life. And then something happens, and the kind of portal that she uses to go to these other monsters is destroyed, and she has to figure out, where does she come from, how her relationship to these monsters, where do they come from, and she basically goes off on this adventure, and we follow her. I read Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. That still remains my favorite, but Daughters from Cameroon, again, she just creates this like very magical, very whimsical words that still have like an undertone of darkness to them. Like there's still some grit to them, like some especially in the second book, some stuff happens in them, but I like, it's kind of like the way she just balances it. And I think a theme that causes like these cycles of violence and breaking these cycles of violence, and I think she's really done well. Her writing is chef's kiss, and you just love the characters. So yeah, I'm looking forward to completing this trilogy. Dreams of Gods and Monsters. Then I would like to continue in the Neapolitan Quartet. So the first book is My Brilliant Friend, and so this series basically follows these two friends over the course of their life. So in the first book, we follow them from their childhood to adolescence, and I think we'll be following them now in their 20s, and it just captures girlhood. Like the first book, like they're really the complexities of growing up, all the teen angst, but not in like an annoying, and just even like your need for validation, how insecure you can be at that age, even the way like we tend to project our insecurities on others, just their relationships are just it was written so well. I felt so seen. It was just really chef's kiss. Like the way she writes emotions, I was just like I love them so much. Also, another book that made it my favorite of 2023. So yeah, I'm going to be continuing with this series, and yeah, so the first book was amazing, and I'm pretty sure that this second book will not disappoint. So yes, that is The Story of a New Name. I showed you the camera. Story of a New Name. The next one I want to read is Thunderhead. This is the second book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. So the first book is Scythe. Yes, the first book. I don't know why my brain is not working. I'm forgetting. So in Scythe, we follow in the first book we follow these two teenagers, Citra and Rowan, who become apprentices for a scythe. Now what's a scythe? So in this world, hunger, all the bad things have been figured out, and so to curb the population, because people aren't dying anymore, because even death has been conquered. Yes, I forgot to mention that. So scythes are basically a job that of course that's such a bad way to describe, but basically scythes are people who call the population, so they keep the population at a certain number, so that you can only have finite resources, infinite population, and so we just really explore a world where this seems like a utopia, like a utopia. Death has been conquered, there's no hunger, all of that. People can even go age back, like they can age backwards, reverse aging and all of that. And we see what type of world is there where you have almost all the time in the world. There's no agency, there's no just the lack of having that sense of urgency, that you only live once, and how does that affect the population. We also look at the sites, how they are basically above the law, and how how that works. We see some beginnings of theories of corruption within the site, and it's just a very intriguing read, honestly. So that is so in the what is going on with me today? I'm very tired anyway. So in this book now we're following Thunderhead, and Thunderhead is kind of a introduced in quotes, introduced in the first book, and I can't wait to see where we go with this. Yeah, but it was a really interesting exploration of these things. I think done really well. And the next book I want to read is Sabriel. This is this book has been damaged. I left it in my bag and it rained and it was just very chaotic. It made me so sad. But so in this world we are following Sabriel, and so it seems like there's an old kingdom and a new kingdom, where the old kingdom is like more magic and things, and then there's a new kingdom that's more like modern. And so we follow this girl Sabriel, who is in the new kingdom, but she comes from the old kingdom, and then something happens to her father and she has to go back and see what's wrong with him and kind of rescue him from the dead. And I think there's necromancy. That's what really sold me. Oh, okay, that sounds fun. So that's Sabriel. This is like a classic young adult fantasy. So yeah, that's another series I'm starting. Then so that one is Strike the Zeta. So we are following this young woman who is a strategist for this warlordess, and so there are these three warlordesses who are kind of competing for power, and she was just following her, who this young strategist, and try to find her place in the war and make her own fate, wrestle her destiny and all that. So this was actually supposed to be a single book, but I think it's supposed to be a standalone, but then the sequel is coming out this year, I believe so. So I want to read it and see what I think, and let me know if I'm going to continue with the sequel. So yes. And finally, last book I'm going to be reading is look at this edition is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. So we follow this young bard, he sings, and he's basically called back home because girls are going missing and they think it's something to do with the spirits, and so he has to come back home, and then I guess he has to work with this sort of rival, and they have to figure out what is going on basically. Yeah, look, it's so pretty. Anyway, so yeah, these are all the books I want to get to in the month of February. I really hope I do so because I am starting school soon, but anyway, I will do my darndest. Yeah. What was that? Anyway, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know your thoughts, if you're going to pick any of them up. If you want to you read them, you read them, you have thoughts, please engage, discuss with me in the comments. Like, subscribe if you want, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye bye. Take a big 12. Okay, that's fine.